another one.
Hybrid and remote work. It says, I've noticed this trend of multiple companies suddenly forcing everyone to come back in the office at least 3 days per week. For the past 2 months, I started to find it harder to find remote only jobs for my experience. I'm a senior QA automation engineer. It seems that pretty much the only ones available, although not many, are for contractors, which I'm thinking to switch to for several reasons. Does this happen where you live as well? All right. So I would say that we start with the clock, and I have been seeing that trend as well. But um, I have never depended on remote only. While I highly appreciate working remote, I know that I don't, as skilled as I am, as I was mentioning earlier, right? I don't control the market. If everyone is requiring people to go back to the office, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait for a position to come in where it has to be remote or nothing. Well, I don't like waiting for nothing, right? So I'm going to do what I have to do. And if I was to end up finding a remote job later on, then cool. But you always have to put yourself in the best, like I said, in the best position to win. And here's the thing: when you go into the office, right, you get the opportunity to network with people, to speak to people. I remember when I went to my company headquarters back in October of last year. It was a great experience. I went to a different state, met with some amazing people, learned a lot, and got to see in person the people that work that I speak to every single day. But it's not it's not your thing to like, you can't control it, right? You can hope that you get remote, but it's not the it's out of your hands, right? So I would say, like, when I was looking for a job last year, I was willing to go back to the office, if that's what I had to do. Luckily for me, I ended up finding a company reach out to me that was in a total other state, and they were willing to allow me to work remote, right? But I was like on the brink of going back to the office and having to drive and spend gas and stuff like that, and I weighed that all through, like, my whole interview processes. Had to go to, like, some areas that I really didn't want to drive to because of traffic, some that weren't too bad, but still would have some traffic, and then being able to have the traffic of getting from my bedroom to my office, right? But but yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, you know. Um, and if it's like 2 days in the office, it's not too bad because guess what? It used to be every single day in the office, right? And then, like, down here in South Florida, my the company that I was working for before my current company, they were 20 miles away, right? It would take me about 40 minutes to an hour each way to, like, because of traffic, right? And it's like it's not that far. If there's no traffic, it would take me about 30 minutes to get there. With traffic, about like double the time, which was super annoying. But you got to do what you have to do, and you got, like, at the end of the day, we can't really control like, the market. If it's a company's market at the time, then we have to go to the office. If it's a employee's market at the time, then we get to work from home. It depends on the trends. Like during the pandemic, people got so used to working from home that when it's time to go back, oh, I'm not going back. Well, sometimes you don't really have that option, you know. Or I mean, you do like, you can do whatever you want, but guess what? The company can do whatever they want too. And if they say, like, "Oh, we're requiring you to go back to the office," and you say, "No, I'm not going back," then, depending on the value that they believe that they perceive that you bring, um, that's what happens, you know. And oh, I want to see this real quick. Pluto says, I prefer 14, 14, 14 shifts. Remote is nice for me because I live in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, and you know what? That's something I was thinking about the other day too, right? Because a lot of people they'll move to, like, these middle of nowhere places, right? Because they had a remote job. And I always my greatest fear of that is, like, what if you because if you don't have a way to generate your own income, and, like, you need a company's job, right? What happens if they end up laying you off? Because I've known a few people who end up getting laid off because like, just because the company's going through some changes, and they bought a house in the middle of nowhere. Not in the middle of nowhere, but it's a place that might not have, like, really tech centric hubs, and then now it's like how do they find another job? Because it's like they really, really need to get a remote job, you know? So, yeah, I mean, that's how the game goes, you know? You're not, it's give and take. And you know, I'm always willing to do what I have to do so I can put myself and my family in the best position to win. Yeah, so let's wrap that question up and then I will check the chat.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.